Cherry Garcia. I love the names of their ice creams. You know, they got Chunky Monkey and all kinds of very unusual names. And you guys are familiar with Ben and Jerry's, aren't you? We're going to talk a little bit about them today. And just thought I would take a little time to enjoy some ice cream while I did. This is a community thing. I'll just pass it around. And the spoon, too.
Okay.
Good. It's a big cherry right there. Season of gratitude. I'm extremely grateful in this moment, right here, for some Cherry Garcia ice cream. I was going to bring some for everybody. I will next year. This is really good. Really, really good. What's this got to do with gratitude? I mean, other than the fact it really tastes good. I probably wouldn't be standing here eating this ice cream had it not been for gratitude. We have two gentlemen. I'm going to come back to this next slide. These two gentlemen here, Ben and Jerry, they started their original ice cream shop in Vermont, and they can't remember the name of the town, but it was a small town, and there was this little old filling station that was at the end of a street. And of course, you know, in the summertime, everything's all well and good, and they're all businesses booming. But as you know, the Northeast, I think maybe some of you have heard that Massachusetts has already gotten 4 inches of snow. And my daughter has been sending us pictures back from her college dorm room, and I'm quite amazed at the weather. And it's what, October, late October? Remember, they've already gotten 4 inches of snow. It's not necessarily the best place for an ice cream shop to survive during the winter months. I really hope I don't get any on my tie. That would really stink. But these gentlemen had a dream to open their ice cream store. They had no idea at the time that they were going to have a company that was not only fun, it was socially active. They had no idea at the time that they were going to be in a heated battle with Procter & Gamble. They just had an idea that they wanted to have an ice cream shop. And all of their focus was on surviving. And they made a pact. They said, if we can make it 1 year, we will have a free ice cream day. And so every year since their inception, they have a free ice cream day. If you're in a Ben & Jerry's on April 12th, 2017, you will get a scoop of free ice cream. There's a lot that I could go on and say about their social activism, how they have allowed their company to be an advocate for many things, change. It's really quite an incredible story of entrepreneurship. But at the center of it was gratitude. gratitude to their base, their most loyal fans, their most loyal customers, to say, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. We reap the rewards of that today. It's just amazing. Some of the simplest little things that change the world. A thank you can change the world. And it changed my life as well. I just gained a pound. It changed my life back in 2009. And anybody ever feel this way? December fat boy, this is my month, my holiday. Now hop on your sleigh and wait your turn. Anybody ever feel like that? Like we are just overwhelmed with Christmas? That we are beat to death with Christmas. And another day or two, we will be inundated with Christmas music on the radio. And back in 2009, for some reason, I could not stand it. Every time I heard a Christmas song on the radio, I flipped the channel. I was so aggravated that it just seemed like there was no time for Thanksgiving anymore. There was nothing that we could do to stem this tide of crass commercialism and in-your-face retail bombardment of sales and flyers. And I mean, even today, a couple of days ago, I was listening to television, and there was a commercial that came on that had the backdrop of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" playing in the background, and this was on October 28th. So we're 2 months away from the holiday, not even into November anymore, and you probably can go into a Walgreens or some other retailers and you'll start seeing wreaths and Santa Clauses and things like that. Well, let me just say, I love Christmas. Christmas is a very beautiful time of the year, but it is a time that has a very succinct time for me, and that time does not consume 2 months of my year. To me, it diminishes the effectiveness and the meaningfulness of Christmas by just bombarding us with the idea that we need to get gifts for everyone and to just spend our money relentlessly on things. So this 2009 was a year that I think Facebook was about a couple of years old, and I had just gotten on Facebook as a member. And I was also beginning to do a lot of speaking and guest speaking in different churches. And I was frequenting the Unity of Ames at that time. I wasn't their leader at that point, but I had been there a couple of times. And I thought, well, you know, Chris, if you're aggravated with something, why don't you do something about it? Instead of just being a complainer, instead of just telling everybody how much you dislike the fact that Christmas music is being rammed down your throat, then why don't you do something about it? So I decided to create a season of gratitude. And the first year that I did it, it was strictly online. It was a Facebook page that I had created. And back then, I can't really remember or know exactly how they were different, but the pages were different on Facebook, and I was able to promote this idea quite enormously. And I think somebody along the line figured out we can make money off people promoting things on Facebook, and so they sort of changed their whole mechanism, and so things have changed. But in the first year that I promoted this, I was actually able to get 555 followers of practicing an attitude of gratitude each day of November. So for each day in November, starting November 1st, all the way up to Thanksgiving, it was my goal and my duty to make a public post on this Facebook page that allowed people to know what I was grateful for. And a funny thing happened. About 10, 11 days in, I realized I had not even heard a Christmas carol. I had not been bothered by Christmas music at all. It was almost like it had just vanished from my life. My focus was so on gratitude that it changed me on the inside. I don't know if it was just by sheer coincidence, but I honestly don't remember hearing another Christmas song until December. Each day I took time to be grateful for something. The first day I was grateful for my mom. Second day I was grateful for my dad. And I would write a note. And I would encourage the followers of the page to do the same. And they would share stories about their mom or their dad. Then the next day it was siblings, and then it was cousins, and then it was an ongoing list of different things that I shared that I was grateful for. So fast forward into 2010, when I had become the leader in the Unity Church of Ames, and I thought, what a great opportunity to actually engage the church into this practice, to have them take part in the attitude of gratitude or the season of gratitude, to allow them to experience what I had experienced the year before. And so I got a little committee together, and we made up some cards. I am grateful cards. And we decided that we were going to make it a 21-day challenge. And I crafted this little card that had instructions on it as to what you were to do, and each day you were supposed to sit and write a thank you to this person or that person. And you didn't have to follow our program. We just gave you a program that you could follow. And then I decided to see how it affected the people in this congregation. Because as each one of them went down the list, I was hearing some rumblings of like, oh my God, my sister? Are you kidding me? I can't send her a thank you. We haven't spoken in 2 years. Oh my God, my brother? He's a loser. These things really put some things in a couple of the people's laps that were very, very stark, very hard to deal with. I didn't anticipate this. I was all well-meaning and say, oh, we're going to have a season of gratitude and we're going to be thankful for this and that and that. But when it really came down to it, and they actually had to sit there and they had to write that card to that person, there was a lot of things that came up that I really just didn't even know. I was clueless. It really caught me off guard. So I gave them an opportunity at the end of the season to share their experiences with what they had experienced, what they had gone through, some of the reactions that they had gotten from people that they had done. And the one lady that I before mentioned had a very challenging relationship with her sister that she wrote this card to, broke the ice. It's the first time they had spoken in several years. It was a very healing thing to be able to do that, to be able to say, I'm grateful for your presence in my life. Now, whether that presence appears to bring a positive or a negative into your life, you can still be grateful for that presence, because it either gives you a chance to be in joy, or it gives you a chance to reflect and turn your insides out and be healed from whatever it is that had distanced you from that person. Being in gratitude is not just a simple thing. It's a way of life. We sometimes now we talk about Thanksgiving, and it's overrun not only with the Thanksgiving season being inundated with Christmas music, but Thanksgiving Day itself being about when are the retail stores going to open? Are they going to open at 6 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving? Are they going to wait till midnight? Are they going to, how many football games are we going to have this Thanksgiving? These are things that Thanksgiving has become known for in our pop culture. But the act of gratitude in Thanksgiving is a very spiritual practice that, if practiced and if worked, can totally change your awareness, can totally change your life. It's not something to be ignored or overlooked. It's something to change us, to make us better people. I am grateful. I am grateful. Think in your minds for a moment. What are you grateful for? Think also of the things, the challenges, those people who challenge you. Maybe it's a boss at work. Maybe it's a relative that you're on the outs with. Can you be grateful? Can you really have gratitude for that person in your life? It's an opportunity for us to change inside. It doesn't have to be a season of pre-Christmas. It doesn't have to be a day of football or turkey, or let's get to the store before anybody else. I'm always sort of chuckle on Black Friday when I hear the scenes of Walmart and all of the fights that break out. It's sad. It's really sad that people have gotten that far with it. So I thought, what could we do as a community? So I wanted to put forth, let me share this with you from Charles Fillmore, what it means to be in gratitude. Gratitude and thanksgiving are both necessary in demonstrating prosperity through divine law. Be grateful to God and thankful to the friends whom He uses to supply you. All metaphysicians have found by experience that being thankful for what they have increases the inflow. Gratitude is a great mind magnet. And when it is expressed from a spiritual standpoint, it is powerfully augmented. The saying of grace at the table has its origins in the idea of the power of increase through giving thanks. So I wanted to implement our own gratitude challenge. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we not necessarily had to do the same thing, but I went out and I purchased a thing of cards for everybody. There's 8 cards in here. And I thought maybe over the next week, you guys could maybe take, you pass them around. I'll just give these to you if you want to pass them around. Should be enough. There's more. I'm going to have copies of this printed right here. This is the gratitude challenge. Share your gratitude over the next 7 days. I'm only asking you for 1/3 of what we did in Ames.
Say it again, what you're asking.
Share your gratitude over the next 7 days. And I've got some ideas for you. This is a list I'm going to print out in the office, and we'll have copies of it you can take with you. Your spouse or significant other, your children, your boss or co-workers, a sibling, a cousin, an aunt or an uncle, a niece or a nephew, a grandparent or elder that you love, a best friend, a church friend, a civic group friend, an acquaintance, service employee such as your mailman or a FedEx guy or a UPS guy, a government official, an adversary, someone you would like to mend fences with, a minister or a spiritual leader, someone you admire, the president of your favorite company, the next person that cheers you up, your neighbor, your doctor, a teacher that you admire, your vet, the leader of a group that you are in. Number 25 is you decide. Keep notes and share your stories. So with this idea of gratitude, we're going to take this into meditation and allow Phil to play our meditation song.